The 2025 Formula One season is shaping up to be one of the most challenging and intriguing for Lewis Hamilton, the seven-time world champion who is now donning the iconic red of Ferrari. The Briton, who has delivered so many victories and unforgettable moments to motorsport, now faces a completely new scenario in his career. For the first time in his nearly 2 decades in the sport, he has not stepped onto the podium in the first 10 races of the championship. Yes, you read that right. 10 races without tasting the champagne on the podium or feeling the thrill of crossing the finish line among the top 3. This is something that has never happened to Hamilton since his impressive debut with McLaren in 2007. Imagine how it feels for someone like Hamilton, a driver whose name is synonymous with success and dominance in Formula One, to be in such an unusual situation. The pressure is intense, both on him and on the Italian team, which carries a tradition of excellence and enormous expectations. The Maranello-based team, known for its competitive DNA and the passion of its fans, is dealing with a delicate situation. And at the center of it all is Hamilton, who, despite being an experienced veteran, seems to be struggling with a car that simply doesn't respond the way he would like. The performance so far? Let's just say it hasn't been what the fans expected. At Imola, Ferrari's home circuit, Hamilton achieved his best result so far this season, finishing 4th at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. A small moral victory, but still far from the brilliance everyone is used to seeing. With just 79 points accumulated after 10 rounds, he sits 6th in the driver's standings, while Oscar Piastri, the championship leader, has already racked up an impressive 198 points. It's certainly not the start anyone imagined for this new Ferrari era with Hamilton behind the wheel. But here comes the interesting, and perhaps slightly frustrating, part of the story. There is huge uncertainty surrounding Ferrari's upcoming updates. Everyone within the team is eager to see how the planned modifications to the car will impact performance, especially the highly anticipated improvements to the rear suspension and the floor. These changes are seen as potential keys to unlock the behavior of the SF25, the car being driven by Hamilton and Charles Leclerc this year. Hamilton, of course, is desperate for these upgrades. He knows he needs them to have a real chance of competing with the rivals ahead. But there's an important detail. Ferrari is skeptical about how effective these improvements will actually be. The team doubts that the changes will be enough to solve the chronic issues with the Pirelli tires, which have been a real thorn in the side for the Scuderia's drivers. The operating window of the tires remains a constant challenge, and even with the planned upgrades, there is no guarantee the car will finally perform as expected. And then comes another layer of complexity. The 2026 Formula One regulations are set to change drastically, meaning Ferrari must carefully balance its investments between the 2025 package and the future. It's like trying to fix a sinking ship while building a new one at the same time. For Hamilton, this adds an extra layer of pressure. He wants results now, but also understands that the team has to think about the long term. The next big opportunity to test these improvements will be at the Austrian Grand Prix, scheduled for June 27th to 29th. Ferrari plans to introduce its upgraded rear suspension at this race, with the promise of making the rear of the SF25 more predictable and stable. This is a crucial point for Hamilton, who has faced significant challenges with trusting the car's behavior. He needs to feel confident enough to attack corners and take risks in overtakes without fearing loss of control. So far, that has been a considerable obstacle. However, as mentioned earlier, the team is not entirely convinced that these changes will be the magic solution everyone is hoping for. Plus, there's another lingering issue: the car's ride height. After Ferrari's double disqualification at the Chinese Grand Prix, it became clear that excessive rear end was directly related to the car's floor height. Even with the planned upgrades, Ferrari will still have to operate with a setup that isn't ideal for performance. This further complicates things for Hamilton and Leclerc, who are trying to extract the maximum from a car that, frankly, still isn't where it needs to be. Meanwhile, other teams are making the most of their opportunities. Mercedes, for instance, is back on top thanks to George Russell, who won the Canadian Grand Prix starting from pole position. It was a clear demonstration that, even in a season full of challenges, some teams manage to find ways to shine. On that same weekend, Leclerc made a remarkable recovery, climbing from 8th to finish 5th, while Hamilton crossed the line in 6th. A modest result, but one that shows there is still some hope for progress. Leclerc, in fact, has been a central figure in Ferrari's fight. During the Canadian GP, he pleaded with the team to adopt a one-stop strategy in an attempt to compensate for his disappointing qualifying and the car's lack of pace. This tactical approach reflects the team's current mindset perfectly. They are willing to try anything to maximize results, even if the car is far from perfect. Fred Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, has a pragmatic view of the situation. He acknowledges that technical upgrades are important, but emphasizes that the team needs cleaner race weekends to truly move forward. Error-free races, with no reliability issues and well-executed strategies, can make all the difference. It's a reminder that in Formula One, it's not always just about having the fastest car. Consistency and flawless execution also matter greatly. Coming back to Hamilton's case, it's impossible not to wonder, can he turn this difficult phase into an epic comeback? He has the experience, the talent, and the determination to overcome adversity. But time is ticking, and the competition waits for no one. With only half of the season remaining, the question is whether Ferrari's upgrades will finally give Hamilton and Leclerc a chance to fight for the top of the podium, or whether this will be remembered as a transitional season for the legendary Italian team. One thing is certain, Formula One never ceases to surprise. And if there's anything we've learned over the years, it's that stories like this have the potential to become truly memorable. Who knows? Maybe the next chapter in Hamilton's journey with Ferrari will be exactly what we've all been waiting for, a triumphant return to where he belongs.